Hi guys, and welcome back to the Pain and Power podcast. So today's a little different. I just wanted to talk about, so I'm going to give you some tools, because what I feel like is the collective needs to heal when it needs to feel, okay? And it's hard to say that, it's hard to accept that, but that is what's happening and that's what we need to do. So today's little video is just about me sort of giving some tools out for you guys, okay? And us sort of just coming together to create a safe space to allow people to start to feel, start to heal, and have those necessary tools available, and to have the conversations and the space to be able to do so. Like, it's very important that we feel safe during this time, because healing and feeling is not very it's not very easy, but it is absolutely honourable. You are honourable for being on this journey. If you found this video and this video has found you, this is for you. You know, there are a lot of things that, you know, you're probably going for a big change. 2024 was probably a mad year for you, but what you're doing is honourable. Clicking on this video and choosing to listen to the things I'm about to tell you and the things I'm about to give you is honourable, because it means you're prepared to love yourself. It means you're prepared to hear what I've got to say. It means you're prepared to love yourself enough to give yourself the tools to be able to heal and feel in a safe way. Okay, this is a safe environment, it's a safe space. I love you, and I hope this is helpful for you. Mwah. So I've got my little aromatherapy dough here. So this smells really good. And it's like a little fidget thing, because today I'm feeling a little weird. Well, so if you're feeling anything like I am, you're probably feeling not so great the last couple of days / months / the whole of 2024 really. But I've got a message for you guys, and the message is, so I was just about to go out to the forest because I knew I needed to kind of do some feeling and some healing but it's cold and I couldn't bother to go out. But anyway, I've just been doing nothing all morning. And then I had a little bit of a feeling like I wanted to cry, and then I cried, and then I did a lot of, basically, for a long while now, I've been on this journey of when things come up, where I'm like no longer bombarded with chaos, where I'm no longer go, and I am, it smells really good, and I have been taken out at uni, like taken out of like my once chaotic life full of many people, socially abundant, if you will. No, but just doing a lot of things, working 2 jobs and going out all the time and just being crazy and just being young, really. But, you know, also just basically what happened was I came away from my chaotic life, and then I had to start to learn how to live in the peace. So what happens when peace happens, when you start to go into peace after living in a lot of chaos and learning how to survive in the chaos and actually learning how to thrive in the chaos, peace is actually uncomfortable. And then, because what happens then is all these things that you haven't had the privilege to feel before, and you haven't had the privilege to regulate so all of these things that have built up since you were tiny little are now saying, well, we're still, so I can come up now and be felt. It's like now, it's like when you suddenly stop, a lot comes up to be felt, right? So, and the message that I have for you guys is, as a collective, we are going to have to feel a lot now. I think 2024 was about things sort of shedding off, things sort of coming up. People will have been having to feel a lot anyway. It's probably been one of the most sensitive years for you. It's probably been one of the years you've cried the most, or, you know, just like one of them years where you feel like, and it could be a lot to do with like self-love, or something's been calling out for you. The messages this year have been so solely around self-love, and then kind of what that looks like. Because this is the message, is that we have to now start feeling as a collective. And there is so much that we don't get taught about ourselves in terms of feeling and healing, in terms of energy and how important it is, in terms of our nervous system and how important it is. We haven't been taught so much about how important it is to feel, and how, you know, if you think about things like breath work, things like yoga and meditation, and all of these things that are sort of surfacing, like resurfacing now. They've been ancient things, right? But they're resurfacing, and I think they're resurfacing for a reason. People like me are being called to put things out there for a reason. I feel like when I got my meditation, when I got the name for this Pain and Power podcast in a meditation before, it was because I knew, like, not only did I feel like that was my story of what I was doing, and I was locating where my pain was, and I was like, and I felt like it was fueling my destiny. It was fueling my passion, my energy to create and to do things, right? So Pain and Power podcast actually came from my own story of like my own feelings of sort of locating my own pain, and then how that was really making me feel like I could create so much of this, and it was like pain's power, right? But I also got this sense and this feeling of like people need me to heal or to do that alchemy and to change my pain's power, whatever it was, just so that I felt like I had to come out here to teach others how to do the same. Because what I feel like is happening is that we're either, you know, you're either going to New Earth and choosing to ascend and choosing to, because what's happening is the way we're going on can't carry on. Okay, so the way that we live can't carry on. Things are collapsing. The way that we've systematically lived, like all the systems, everything that we believe to be true, everything that we operate out of, it all is so fragile right now because it does not serve anyone. It serves the minority. It does not serve the majority, which is, you know, it's a panic for the people that are the minority, that are holding on to every little inch of power and every little inch of whatever they can do. But what's happening, the reality is, what happening is people everywhere else, the majority of people are just not surviving, not doing very well. You know, the majority of people are completely lost and stuck and don't know what's happening. And it's because we haven't got a clue about who we are. Some people have managed to get to the age of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and they don't even know, you know, the energy lives in our bodies, stores in our bodies, and can literally manifest into a whole personality that we don't even actually isn't even us, or you know, or it can actually be a physical problem in your body that actually stems from an unprocessed trauma. It can be an actual problem with physically with your body that actually stems from an emotional trauma and from an energetic issue. And it's hard to believe in the power of things like Reiki and things like energy healing, but this is exactly what happened to me when I first started breathing, when I first started going to the nature. All of it stemmed from me going to the nature and having that silence time, because you don't realise how loud it is out here. You can't hear a thing. You don't know who you are, what's going on. You know, you feel disconnected because there's so much noise. You have to take the time to go to the nature. You have to. There's one thing you have to do, and it's to see the trees. You can't go on in this matrix and think that you're going to find yourself and find clarity, because you can't hear anything. It's too loud. You need to be in a quiet room, or the best thing to do is just go sit by the trees. Even if you sit for them 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, babe. You have to go see the nature, because she will heal you, help you and hold you. Like, that's what you need. But anyway, what the message is here, what I feel like I need to say is that, look at all of this. It's getting on my hands and fingers. Gross. But basically, what the message is, we as a collective now need to start feeling, okay? And we've never been given the tools to do that. We don't really know the importance of it. We don't really care for the importance of it until it starts to become really apparent to us that it is very, very important that we feel our emotions and that we process this energy that stores in our body, because actually it affects our lives so, so much. And what is happening right now, like I said, is there are a larger group of people that are going to ascend and trying to awaken and trying to sort of go on this new earth frequency and ascend, and then there's going to be people that are just going to choose to stay stuck, which is fine, and everyone's on their journey, and but what I'm saying, for those people that want more, that are like itching and scratching, and just for everyone in general, right, it all starts with being able to feel. And not everybody has the privilege to feel, because not everybody is out of the chaos. You know, not everybody has the privilege to feel, because some people are still in survival mode, and some people are, you know, going to be in that place where they have to, you know, it's really hard. But I'm just going to give you some tools, because some tools is what I feel like I could have done with, not even tools, but I just got to tell you, first of all, feeling is scary, but it's really, really worth it. Second of all, I've got to tell you that, like, your breath is really important. Third of all, I've got to tell you that movement is really important. Movement is like something you can do without even having to face what it is that's causing you pain, without having to movement is really important, because it is just the physical movement of it. Like, it's like the physical movement of energy. It's like we're moving energy, like, movement is so important because it does everything. It releases serotonin, it releases like the good hormones and stuff when you're moving, especially if you're dancing. But even if you're just moving and stretching and stuff like that, like, it is so important to move. Movement is like one of the best, most easiest ways to process and like to like alchemize energy and emotions. I feel like movement is incredibly, incredibly important. I would say, like, I know it sounds, the thing is, I feel like when I give people the tools, it's like, oh, breathe and yoga, and it's like, I even hate hearing that, because I'm like, well, boring. And it's like, I feel like when I was younger, I was so able to, I was like, hit me again. I was so able to be like high functioning in like a chaotic environment, or like I was so able to be high functioning when actually everything around me maybe wasn't even so great. And I became this big, like, I was just really good at just alchemizing any bit of negativity into something positive. And just also I was really good at just like not feeling the awful stuff and just concentrating on the good stuff. And like now it's like all I want to do is like concentrate on the good stuff, but I can't help but just feel all the awful stuff. And I think it's because like I've got the time to. I'm like in the privileged like time in my life where I have actually got the time to feel. But let me tell you a couple things. So the best thing to do when you feel an emotion arise is just to let yourself cry. One of the best ways to kind of gain control over that, or like not control over that, but if you feel like you're feeling a little bit weird, like you're feeling agitated or you're feeling weird, breath work. Look into breath work. Because I'm not an expert on breath work, but it happens to me. See, this is the thing. I'm not an expert in breath work. I'm not an expert in Reiki and energy healing, and I'm not an expert in movement and yoga and dance and all of that. But all three of those things are three things that they seem to be in me already. They seem to be in my knowledge and my wisdom already. They seem to be in my toolkit already. Through meditating and through spending time with myself and spending time with the nature, naturally what occurred was I started to make noises from my mouth. I started to breathe. That's a good one. Really big, like big breaths. Breath work is really important because it actually really helps. Like just doing that is like, do that like 10 times and I promise you'll feel like weight lifted already. And like it may like trigger emotions, but whatever it does is what you're supposed to do. Clicking in the auric field is really good. Clapping in the auric field is really good. Just clicking, clacking. This actually feels really nice. This is the thing that I'm trying to say is like the things that I'm trying to give you in terms of a toolbox, in terms of navigating, healing and feeling, are things that you just wouldn't think actually have any. But it does. Just to click round your ears really helps to just, I don't know. I can't even tell you what it does because it just feels good. And like, I always get blocked in these channels here. I can always feel, so doing things like this, just anywhere where you feel tension and just like doing your own kind of Reiki or doing whatever. Because once you start meditating and you sort of hone in on your body's energy, you're able to actually, what does my body need? What does my body need? And your hands will just start to move. Like, I don't know if it's everyone's, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think it's just me. I think I've just spent the time sort of with myself enough to kind of just start to, and I'm just also one of them where I start doing weird stuff and I just let it happen because it feels good to me. Like, meditation has taught me to kind of just let my body do its thing because my body knows what it wants. Like right now, this is probably doing something. It feels nice. It feels good. And I think that it's time that we start listening to the energy in our bodies. It's time that we start listening to, like, if you need, the thing is, it's not normal or normalised for people to sit there just casually and just start doing this. Because this now feels like I'm stroking my aura. I'm sort of cleansing the energy. And it feels like I'm taking care of myself. It almost feels like a kind of, I don't know. Okay. So one thing I would really recommend is like trying to get into your energy of your body and what do you need. Like right now I can feel that there's like tension everywhere. There's tension literally everywhere, and so taking time just to kind of debunk and just like swoosh things around a little bit wherever feels good. Remembering to take deep breaths as well. But breath work usually, I feel like breathing then takes you into movement, which takes you into like sort of meditation, and they're all three very connected. Moving, breathing, and what was the other one? Moving, breathing, and don't know at all. But it's like, okay, moving, breathing, and they're kind of meditation all in one, I suppose. I don't know, like just like energy work, I suppose. But these are the main things that I feel like are so helpful as well. Grounding, right? So putting your I've got to say, right, there's something really special about hands. So feet and hands are really important. I think there must be like some sort of, I think your hands are actually an extension of your heart chakra. I don't know if that's definitely true, but you know your hands, like just to put your hands on your heart here, feels like home, feels safe, feels really, really good. So if that can be another thing really helpful for you when you're healing. What I'm saying is I think we just have to start healing, and we haven't been given the tools or the role models or the representation of what that actually looks like. And what that actually looks like can feel quite scary when we don't actually know it and we don't actually recognise it, or we don't actually have, we've never held space for it before. Or even just putting your hands here and listening to your own voice, listening to your heartbeat, taking the time to just stop and be still is really important. So I've written everything down, what's going to help us. I've put here, healing. We need to feel. Not a lot of us actually know how to really do this, and it's true. So I'm going to equip you with everything that I've just written down is so true, and this is what really helps me. So I feel like I've been going through a lot of healing, a lot of feeling, and it does feel relentless, and it can be awful, but I've got many tools that I want to share with you guys, because I have a feeling we're all about to do this together. I feel like most of us, a lot of us, especially people that are on my frequency, have already been doing this, very much so. But then I also feel like a lot of other people are now going to start having to do this. I feel like this is going to be a process of healing and feeling for a lot of us. And if we don't have the tools, and if we don't have the knowledge, and if we don't have the talking about it and saying, hello, it's okay, don't panic, this is actually good, this is a good thing. This is actually a lot more normal than what you have been doing, which is not feeling, and then it all just sort of collects and manifests and can even debilitate, guys. Okay, so I feel like this is important for us to talk about, and it's important for us to exchange together, and it's important for you to see me and know that I'm literally doing the same, and I'm okay, and I'm surviving, and in fact, I'm going to be better than ever soon. I'm hoping. 111 on the timer. Must be true. Okay. So I've got stillness, I've got movement, I've got breath work, I've got touching, I've got creating, and the voice. Okay, the voice. How powerful is the voice to connect and to also just scream, belt. Try not to scream that in a way that hurts, but anyway, let's go through it all. So stillness is about taking time to be still, and I mean still, no phone, no nothing, no noise, no nothing. I mean literally lay down, you do nothing. I know that's annoying and that's boring, but sometimes this helps if you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay, stillness is good for when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling like a bit confused, a bit disconnected, can't really feel anything, everything's a bit too much. Stillness is really good to just, and in your stillness you might want to take some breaths. It may help you to really quiet the mind, because sometimes even when we're still and there's no noise, we've still got our own noise up here. So make sure when we're trying to practice stillness that we are quiet in the mind. This may be difficult for you. If you find it difficult to be still, then you may want to start with breath work. And what I want you to do is literally just sit there, lay down, put your hand on your heart, and I just want you to... You take a deep breath in, your nose preferably, but I can't breathe through my nose very well. Take a big, deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a couple of seconds, and I want you to breathe out. But when you're breathing out, I want you to breathe all the air out possible. It needs to be longer than your intake breath, okay? So you're taking a breath in, then you're holding it for a little sec, and then you're going... You might have to do like two, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I like to get all the breath out. And then you take another deep breath in. And then you're going out again, okay? I want you to do that like 10 times. I don't know, that might be a lot, but at least 5 or 10 times I want you to do that deep breath in, hold for a little second, and then all the way out. Not completely just, I need you to do it like you may need to narrow it, pressurize it a little bit maybe, but you'll be able to feel it, like feel all the pressure in your body, and just feel all the pressure in your body and just get it out. Okay, I want you to do that 10 times, and then you should be able to lie in the stillness. In fact, this will probably help everyone. Start with the breath work first. Really deep breaths in, hold it out. Out. Do that for 10 times. 10 times, then you can lay in the stillness. I would recommend binaural beats. I would recommend high frequency music on YouTube. Best things, I live by it, okay? Binaural beats and high frequency music on YouTube. Any sound baths. Something that is going to just put that on in the background. That is, okay, we're looking for stillness, we're looking for nothingness. But if you want stillness where there's just complete silence, if you're looking more to receive information in terms of clarity to come to you, guidance to come to you, then I would recommend doing the breath work, being still, and then listening in the silence. Let the silence, but keep coming back to your breath every time that you hear noise up here. When you're looking for clarity and guidance, you're looking for a voice that comes from here, a voice that is soft, a voice that is kind to you. This voice of clarity and guidance will never ever let me tell you this, because this is helpful. It will never be something negative. It will never be rude to you. It will never be aggressive, or it will just never be of a negative tone. The voice you're looking for is something that's going to come in with this like immense amount of love. It's going to be this voice that comes in with, oh, hello, honey. You okay, my love? How is everything? How are you feeling? Are you all right? Okay, it's heavy. I understand, baby. No problem. Just you sit there and just you rest. We're going to talk about this now. I think all you need to do is just do nothing actually for now. The voice is going to come in. It's going to be like that. It's going to literally come in the nicest, the calmest. And if that's not the voice that you're receiving, then it's your mind. And you need to keep doing the breath work to get that babe out of there. I nearly swore. Get that girl out of there, okay? Breath work is really important. Yeah, so stillness is really good. So you may need to do the breath work to enter the stillness, but once you're in the stillness, you can receive messages and receive clarity and receive guidance, but make sure it's that voice that is lovely and kind to you. Otherwise, it's not your heart, it's your mind speaking. And it's because your mind is influenced by loads of other shite. So it's influenced by loads of other crap. And that therefore means that it isn't always the truth, and it isn't always the nicest, kindest voice. Okay? So it helps, the stillness helps you to hear, listen and receive, okay? It also helps you to process things, okay? Because when you're still, it means your body's not using any energy to do anything else. So it helps your body to process things. So even just a laying there for 10 minutes could actually help your body. Like, that's what sleep does. Sleep helps you to process, doesn't it? Sleep helps your body to heal. It helps you to heal. It helps, when people say, oh, I'm going to sleep on it, because it helps you to then, you wake up with more clarity, don't you? So sometimes when things are just feeling crazy, just stop. Stop what you're doing, babe. Lay down. Lay down for 10 minutes. Sometimes I get it where I'm just feeling really, really not great. I'm feeling really, really tired. I'm feeling really, really just not great. All I do is I lay down. I go, right, fuck this. I go, I'm laying down. And I lay down and I literally just close my eyes. Might do a little bit of a massage there, just to put the pressure points. And I'll just put the high frequency music on and I'll lay down for 10 minutes at least, or I'll set a 20-minute timer. And once I've had that 20 minutes laying down, I feel better again. I really do, honestly. That's something really helpful that you can do in the daytimes. And just if you need like a little 5-10 minutes, if you're at work, go out the back, 5 minutes, binaural beats in, deep breaths. It will center yourself. Having your hands here is just a great way to center yourself. It's just a great way to center. I'm centering. Tell yourself what you're doing. I'm centering. The voice can be a good way It's good to have anchors, okay, when there's noise. There's a lot of noise, when we've got a lot of mind noise, we've got a lot of body noise, you're feeling all sorts of things. The voice can also be a centre, because the voice can be, I am calm, I am okay, I love you, I love you, I love you, you're okay, I love you. Your voice is actually a frequency. We're going to get into the voice because I've got it down here because it's very, very powerful as a healing tool for others and for yourself. But yeah, so that's stillness, okay? It's good to rest and rejuvenate. It's good to receive and process energy and information. Yeah, it's good to hear. It's good to listen. But you may need breath work. I understand stillness isn't very easy, so breath work may help you into that. So we'll move on to breath work. So breath work can help provoke emotions. It can help bring up things that are stuck there. Breath work will help target energy that's stored in your body that doesn't otherwise know how to come up, know how to be, you may be in a survival mode where you're used to just storing energy. Your nervous system is out of a survival mode and for your own safety, it is storing information, it is storing energy, and it is storing this energy, right? So it means that you get these build-ups and these blocks, and then sometimes it will start to all cause issues. There's not enough room. And it's like you're starting to get agitated. You're starting to get really, and it's like this energy is just asking to come up. Simply, I'm asking for a cry. I'm asking for a shout. I'm asking for a scream. But breath work is a way in which you can induce this. So after the breaths happen, there's no telling what goes on. Because after the breaths happen, we could be in hysterics, crying, then laughing, then crying, then laughing. We could be start to really cry from the bottom of our stomachs. I would recommend in breath work, I always put my 2 hands like this. This is really important to me. It's my heart chakra and my sacral chakra that when I'm breathing, putting my hands there just feels like I am being held, and it is safe to feel now because I am being held and I'm safe to feel because I've got this weight on my chest that almost feels like a loving weight. I feel connected to my hands. The hands are really important. I can't tell you, they're really important to feeling grounded, to feeling safe, feeling grounded, feeling okay, you know? The hands are really important. But yeah, so breath work helps to provoke emotions, move stuck things. It can also help you in a state of, if you're in a state of overwhelm, you're already crying, you're already hyperventilating or whatever it is, breath work really quickly is a way just to sort of say, whoa, 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 let's say we're hyperventilating. Breath work is a way to just go, okay, longer breaths in, longer breaths out, longer breaths in, longer breaths out. We're going to slow this down, 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 slow this down. And let me tell you now, you have it right at your fingertips. If you feel like you are you're incapable in that moment, where you're having a panic attack, where your breathing is ridiculous, where you're crying so much you can't even breathe, you're crying so much you can't even see, right? Those moments is about, you can put on the binaural beats, you can put on the high frequency music, you can put on any kind of sounds that are really going to relieve you. You know, if you've got any kind of squishy device where you can start to activate the hands. I've really noticed that the hands are really important, because even when I'm channeling, I'm doing this, I'm connecting. Okay, so this is a really good, these are stims. Let me let you into some stims. Okay, so they call us neurodivergent, and they say that we've got extra issues and stuff. And okay, yes, we do, because this world obviously upsets us more than the most. But let me tell you, we've actually got some superpowers up here. It's just that we feel things a lot more. So therefore we have these other things that we do. So yes, we stim. Yes, we may stim. But this is actually what really helps you to just, what it means is it helps me to feel connected in a world where we're also disconnected. It helps me to feel real in a world where I feel like I'm not real and I'm dissociating every 5 minutes because I'm not in contact with who I am and my power and my essence and my being. I don't think we realise as a collective how so much exists to keep us out of our power, because we are that powerful, and because the one way they can keep us easily controlled is when we are just not okay, point blank. Okay, so I'm going to help you to be okay, and I'm going to give you all these tools so that you can be in your power and you don't need anybody else to help you feel okay. This is about you now. I'm sorry, but if you've come across this video, you're about to start having to feel things, my darling love. But know that it's not scary. Know that I've done it too. Know that it's love. Know that it's for you. Know that it's your best interests are at heart, okay? They really, really are. But your hands are very powerful. Start to get to know that, okay? You can do lots of things if you're in a state of overwhelm to just really kind of, even this. Breath work is really important, okay? So if you're in a state of overwhelm, start to take in really deep breaths in and out, okay? I know that sounds like cliche classic, but that is really important. Another thing as well can help you grounding your hands in something, so feeling something, like even if you just start to do this with a piece of clothing, with something sensory that feels really good to you, promise you now, it will relax you. It will relax you. Start to try and gain control over your breaths when you're crying. Start to be an observer of the emotion rather than the emotion becoming your complete and utter experience. Don't let the emotion completely control you and take you over. Easier said than done. It can just come full swing. Hang on a minute, this has consumed me, what do? I want you to hold your hands onto something, grab anything, because you know it helps to hold someone's hands when you're having a panic attack. It helps to just make contact with anything with your hands. Then I want you to breathe as best as you can. I just want you to breathe, okay? So if you're ever in a state of overwhelm, I need you to occupy your hands with something that feels safe and fun and good to you. And I want you to really try and slow your breath down. And I also want you to really try just look at yourself for a minute. Like, not look at yourself for a minute, but just come away from the emotion if you can. Like, try and say, oh my God, I'm crying. Say, okay, you're crying. That's okay. Try and speak to yourself if you can. Just say, it's okay, you're crying. It's okay. Everything's okay. Like, anything that you can do to try and calm yourself down. You know yourself best. You know yourself best. You know your power best. Okay? I want you to know that in these moments, you're not powerless. You know, you can take some more control over, but also let yourself feel. So let yourself really feel what needs to come out. But when it starts, what I'm saying is when it starts getting dangerous and you feel out of control, yeah, that's when I want you to hold something safe, and I want you to ground yourself, and I want you to start taking really deep breaths in and out. Even if you are, keep doing it, because it will honestly Take the deep breaths out. Honestly, you will be able to gain control over your breathing, I promise you. You're never alone and you're always safe, trust me. And it will help your nervous system to regulate. These things, tap in, okay, giving you these as well, right? So these are more tools. Tap in here, really good for you, okay? Squeeze in, yeah, it's giving me goosebumps, this is, because I feel like this is important information for the collective to know. Squeeze your hands. I used to get this when I was younger. It's so funny how I just didn't know how neurodiverse I was, but literally, and like when I used to get really angry when I was younger, it would really help me to just, you know, or like I'd put my hands in my hair and just grab, because you just need to squeeze, man, you know. And we don't realise that being a neurodiverse girly, I realise now there's a whole nother world that exists as humans. We don't realise there's this whole energetic nervous system kind of things that we're not, you know, it's like, it's the things that we're like emotionally experiencing and that we're energetically experiencing that actually have a massive impact on our lives, a massive impact. And I can tell because I can feel it all in my body. You know, when there's a big loud siren, I can feel the shiver go down my ears, like, and I'm like, ah! I felt that in my whole entire system, and it like I could feel it trigger something in my brain, and now I'm fuming. I'm annoyed because, you know, it makes me feel unsafe, it makes me feel whatever it is. Now I'm annoyed because there's something in me, stored in me, that's upset with that noise. Does that make sense? Like, we store these efferents, copies and memories of things, and and that's how things trigger and come up. That's how you can be fine. yeah. And then suddenly someone makes a massive bang and you're like that. You're fuming, or you're suddenly really upset, and it's because there's unprocessed trauma that sits in your body, babe, okay? But the most powerful and important thing right now is that you are on the journey of starting to feel those things and starting to... Don't let that sound scary, please. Don't let that sound scary. Don't let it put you off, because honestly, it is the most powerful, beautiful thing. And I even had to be reluctant in this. Like, I had to pull myself out of this reluctancy to even make this video, because I felt like I didn't want to just turn around and tell the collective that we need to start feeling, because when I'm going through something and when I'm getting a message, it probably needs to be related to you. And things that I learn and the wisdom that I get, it's like I actually feel like I love to share it with you guys. But to turn around and say to you, like, I'm not being funny, guys, you're gonna have to start feeling things, I feel bad for you. Not feel bad for you, but like, because it's horrible. It can be really horrible, but also there's no choice in the matter now. It's either we turn around and start feeling things, or we just carry on like how it is, and it's just not great. So if you want to expand, you want to ascend, you know, you want to expand and evolve, then you are going to have to start feeling things. But know that it is powerful, and know that it is for you. It is love. Yeah? It's the same things keep coming through. It's for you and it's love. I need the message too. Don't worry, guys. But yes, we're going to do this together, okay? It's going to be our little moment. We're going to do this together. We're going to be best friends, all of us, here on this beautiful channel and on my TikTok. Quickly, go check out my Pensight page, guys, if you haven't already, because I've got ebooks on there and you can book my tarot readings through there, okay? And there's more ebooks to come. But yeah, so we're in this together. You're not alone. And I'm giving you the tools, so I want you to be safe and I want you to be equipped. And if you feel like you need any kind of advice on any kind of thing, let me know, put it in the comments. I love you. Okay, so we've got stillness, to hear and receive, to process, to rest and rejuvenate, okay? We've got stillness. We've got breath work, to gain control over ourselves in a very overwhelming situation. So I'm saying, you know, your breath can really, and the hands, gain control. It can help to move stuck things. It can help to sort of start the processing of, so just literally breathing may bring things up. It can start to bring things up. It can start to move energy that's stuck. You know, even your breath, it can even vibrate. It vibrates your body in a way that says, let's move this energy now. Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out, okay? And it's good for the nervous system. Oh yeah, I was showing you techniques, wasn't I? So tapping is really good. Tapping anywhere. EFT tapping, it's called. Tapping is really good for the nervous system. This is good for the nervous system. That's really good. Anything like this. Anything where you're like scrunching your face, you can do it yourself. Tap, 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 tap. These are good pressure points, right? If you've got pressure headaches, these are good pressure points. This. Okay, if you've got pressure headaches, this is what you want to be doing. Obviously nice and slow. and always meet at the temples, I'd say, because I have a feeling that they're quite good at, I think the temples is like an exit point, I don't know. But even here, pressure points, yeah, pressure points, yeah. I even sort of go into my temples, into my scalp a lot of the time. I come up into here. You'll be able to feel where the tension is anyway. I do a lot on my scalp. I do a lot of hair pulling. So I put my hands in my hair and I pull my hair out. Not hard or anything like that, just to pull the pressure out and release pressure. Here is really good. Here is really, really good, because I think these actually are, it's called something where you can press, it's like lactic energy, kind of like, I don't know, you can, it's what is it called? It's like a, I don't know, you have them here as well. I think if you push everything to there, it's like a outlet, I don't know, for energy. But anyway, also another good thing for your nervous system is your ears. Love doing this, just like giving your ears a good rub, giving them a good, like, I literally bend them all over and everything. It's really good. Just doing things with your hands is really good for your nervous system. Touching your legs like this, touching anywhere really, EFT tapping and just touching and like holding yourself. This is really nice. This is really good. Oh, okay, I'm moving on to touching already, so I might as well just, okay, well, we've got movement and we've got touching. So we had stillness, we had breath work, and then we've got movement. So breath work is more for when you're in like a bit of a state, or when you're looking to kind of start that emotional process and start that kind of get this shiza out of my body. And then stillness, like I said, for receiving, blah, blah, blah. Movement is like for processing as well. It's for processing energy. So like when you start moving, yeah, you're already like, one, you're letting off like, so movement and exercise is good. You know that it releases serotonin. We know that it releases dopamine. We know that it releases some good hormones, right? We know that it gets the blood pumping, which means it gets the oxygen going, which means it's good for your physical body, right? But if it gets things moving, it also gets the energy moving. It gets like, you know, your heart rate going. It gets things going, right? It means that processing of energy can happen. It means that alchemy can happen, because you can be feeling shit, shake it off, do some of this, and suddenly you're a bit more high frequency. It's like alchemy, right? But movement in yoga and stuff especially, so like movement with breath work. So this is the thing, you can literally incorporate all of these into one thing. They all kind of are into each other, right? And when you start doing meditation, and when you start healing and feeling and doing the breath work and doing the stillness, doing the meditation and the breath work, that's when you'll start to realise that when you're in a meditation, I go into meditation so much and I start doing random stuff. I'll be like that. I'll be like this, I'll be like that, I'll be doing all sorts with my hands that I don't even know that what I'm doing really, but I know that my body needs it, and I'm just letting it be guided in a state of meditation when I'm not really here. I'm just kind of sat back whilst my body does stuff. So movement is really important. So I put processing and alchemy, high vibes, cleansing the body, moving and clearing stagnant energy. Yeah, so stretching is really important as well. Stretching is incredible, guys. Even if you just stretch for a little minute, like stretching, just hands on the toes, like just do like the easiest of stretches if you want. Like literally, even just doing a little one of them or a little one of them. Like, stretching is really important because it just helps to move stagnant energy, and it also helps to bring clarity. I can't explain it. Like, you can just be doing yoga, and I think what it does is, because you're stretching and you're focusing on stretching, but nothing really happens in the mind again. It's an element of stillness that happens, and what happens then is that, like, once you're moving, it's like you're moving energy out the way, so then you're sort of opening up your channels to receive messages and to receive clarity and guidance. So if stillness isn't working, if breath work isn't working, I find that movement is the easiest way. I find that whacking a tune on and just going, all right then, even if you feel like rubbish, putting a sad song on helps to feel that emotion, does it not? You know, whatever your music, I should have put music down here. Music, oh, but I did. I kind of spoke about sounds and like binaural beats, high frequency music in general. Music therapy, very important. So let's say you're having a bad day, put on sad songs so that you can then feel and process those emotions. Obviously, you don't want to sit in it for too long. Don't let yourself sit in it for too long, but have those emotional songs. Then start to find something a bit more upbeat, or like cue a random upbeat song halfway through like 3 sad songs, and then you can have those 3 sad songs, and then when that random upbeat one comes on, you can be like that. Okay, and that's a bit of alchemy there, yeah? So it's like allowing yourself the time to feel, but then also we need these mechanisms of actually processing it, moving it, alchemizing it, maybe gaining some clarity on it, maybe gaining some guidance on it, maybe gaining some new higher perspective on it. So then we can actually alchemize, because it's all good and well feeling things, but if we feel it too much and we stay in it and we let it overwhelm us and we let it consume us and we're not doing these other things to sort of leave room for the channeling to come through, for the clarity to come through, it's a lot of hard work, this. Like, it can be a lot of hard work feeling things, but it's really important, and it's up to you whether you kind of, it's really important, and it's up to you whether you, it's always up to you. Like, you don't have to feel things. It's always up to you. It's up to you how deep you go. But yeah, so music is just really good. And movement is really important. Dance is really healing. Dancing is really, 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 really healing. Dancing is so healing. Look at people when they're at the raves or when they're at the festivals or when they're at the concerts and they're dancing. How happy. They could be going to corporate 9 to 5 jobs, but when they're in that rave, when they're dancing, completely different person, are they not? Dancing is majorly healing, my queens. And if it's one thing I would recommend to you, it was to dance and sing your hearts out as much as you bloody can. Okay, so we've got stillness, okay? We've got breath work you may need breath work to help you into the stillness, fine. We've got movement, okay? If I find that if stillness or breath work isn't my thing, isn't my vibe, isn't working for me right now, movement, get up and dance, or lay down and sing, lay down and cry, whatever it is you need, okay? That's a mixture of stillness and music therapy, and you know, whatever you need to do. These are just some tools I'm trying to give to you because I love you and I want you to feel safe whilst you're feeling, okay? I want you to feel safe while you're feeling, my darling, all right? I want to equip you with all the things you need, because it is tough out here, all right? Then we've got touching. So touching is really important. Like I said, the power of the hands, just to have this little crystal in my hands is wild. Crystals are obviously very helpful. Like, this is a really grounding stone. It helps with negative energy. When I'm feeling very overwhelmed, having my big selenite wand, don't know where it is, my big selenite wand, it's somewhere. It's in the bathroom, I think, from the bath, or is it in there somewhere? Don't know, but having my selenite wand and put my hands around that is just, and it's cold, and it really helps to clear me and just calm me down. But yeah, so if you've got if you're a sensory girly pop, I would recommend getting some big cool crystals, some nice crystals to hold, and just to kind of put your intentions in of, actually, these protect me, these calm me down, these bring abundance into my life. Can be very helpful. Sage, aromatherapy. So there's a lot of things you can do, guys, actually. Thinking about it now. Aromatherapy, like any kind of essential oils. So like if you like the smell of lavender, if you like the smell of like peppermint, if you like the smell of anything that's a smell of anything that would calm you down, go for it. Also saging. It's all aromatherapy. It's all like intentional kind of cleansing and intentional tools. It's just tools. It's really just tools. But touching is really important because it releases oxytocin, believe it or not. So oxytocin, I actually watched a documentary about it, is a drug it's a pharmaceutical drug that people got addicted to in America or whatever, I don't know. But basically, oxytocin is a hormone that is naturally released when you're in love and when you're being touched, okay? So like from physical touch and when you feel loved. So you can show yourself, your body doesn't know, well, it does know, but you know that you're not getting touched by another person, but your body still feels, touched. So, and that releases oxytocin. So in moments of distress, in moments of low mood, in moments of just feeling really, I find that it's really helpful to squeeze and to touch. I think we've already spoke about touching, but squeezing and touching is just really, really important. It just helps you to feel so much more in your body, held, loved, and in some of the scariest times of feeling, touching is really important. So oxytocin, self-love, cradle, cuddle and hold is what I've got in the touch. So that kind of all works into the tapping and the squeezing and the nervous system that I told you about with the breath work. So like breathing and touching and trying to have that time where there's no noise, stillness, listening, rest and rejuvenating. But then also, if you don't want to be in a rest and a stillness, you can move more into the movement, more into the sound therapy, more into the sort of like a bit more upbeat, but we're still taking time to feel, we're still taking time to process and to move and to feel, yeah? So we've got that, we've got stillness, we've got movement, we've got breath work and touching. Then we've got creating. So this happens more for me after I've felt, or usually after I've felt something, or if I need to feel something as well, actually. I can draw it, write it, paint it, talk it. Talking it really helps me. Just talking it, getting it out really, really helps me to process. writing it helps me to process. So talking and writing are really, really powerful in trying to understand or trying to get things out so they're not so on you, and actually it can be an anchor. When you start to write, it can be an anchor. So we're only listening to what's being spoke about and what's being written about. The rest of it is all, you know, we're now here with this anchor. Same with your breath. We're now here with this anchor. We're not thinking about anything else. We're here with the breath as an anchor. Or we're here with the scribe as an anchor, with the pen and the paper as an anchor, with the words that are being written. They're the anchor of what I need to hear, what I need to talk about. Everything else can go away. All the random silly stuff that keeps coming in, away. I'm talking here, or I'm talking here, or I'm talking to a friend that hears me. And even, you know, even sometimes it's about just putting the phone in front of you and not ever putting the video anywhere. Or, you know, not even pressing play on the record. Not even, you know, sometimes it's about making a podcast or a voice memo just to yourself, just to get it off your chest. It doesn't have to go anywhere, doesn't have to be anything, doesn't have to be a piece of art. But it is a piece of art, and it is a piece of creative expression, because it is you just creatively expressing yourself. And it can be really, really helpful to alchemize and to also just gain clarity and guidance again. So creating is really helpful in a time where you're stressed. Painting, colouring, also these things are very meditative, so it's a form of stillness, so that can, like, colouring and painting is a form of stillness, so that can help you receive guidance, receive clarity. And then like talking and writing is more of like a breathwork kind of technique. It's like more of an anchor, more of a sort of processor kind of thing. And then we've got the voice. That goes nicely onto the voice. So the voice, sounds and breaths, whistling and chanting, singing, humming, shouting, belting, screaming. So in breathwork, you may find that things come up to the point where you're going, and you're having to like shout and belt. And it's like, the thing is, these things really help to release energy. Try to do it in a way that doesn't hurt your voice, or that doesn't stress your body out too much, or doesn't strain your body too much, or strain your voice or your body too much. Try and do them in a way that's like quite, I know it's so hard, not controlled, but like I can do it now. Like, I've realised that the sounds we make when we're crying are actually just our body's way of, and I can become really separate from them. I can cry and go and just give my body what it needs, when actually I don't really need to be, you know, I'm not actually, it's weird. I've kind of got to the point now where I can separate myself. Like, I can do the sounds and the body movements that I need without having to fully feel the pain of crying and feel the pain of, like, you know, when those sounds come out and it's out of your control. I'm kind of looking for them sounds now. Like, I can give myself those sounds because I know that it releases energy in that way without having to kind of find out by that scream just coming out, you know. But you'll go on your own journey, and it'll be your own journey, okay? So with sounds and breaths, I'm talking about how stuff like that can make you feel like, it's so strange, isn't it? Because we're not taught about any of this, and so you're like, what is this going on about? And it is weird. You feel weird for the first little bit, but I don't feel weird anymore. I don't care. I'm so past the point of caring. The way that healing can feel is so painful sometimes. I do not care. I will take on whatever I need to do to make myself well again and to make myself feel good, all right? So this all happened to me in meditation as well, when I was in the forest and stuff like that. So it's like, or like, shh, 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 shh. Anything, you know, like whoosh, 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 ti, ora, ora, ora. Random stuff. Like, this is like light language as well. Light language is a whole nother thing, but we won't get into that today. It's a little bit, yeah. But like, you will start, but, even just doing, it's like little weird noises. You'll just know once you do the breath work. I feel like breath work is your entry point into anything, right? Your breath work is your entry point into serenity, kind of not going into a bit of a state of meditation where we're looking at a stillness, we're looking at a receiving energy, where we're just okay. You know, breath work can be our movement into movement, into sort of, okay, I'm starting to feel what my body needs. Okay, I'm starting to move now. I might still be in a meditative state. I might still be in a stillness state, but I'm moving. Okay, breath work can help you sort of come into the touching. You sort of start to realise where you are. You know, once you're in that meditative state, breath work is like the entry point into that meditative state, where once you're in that meditative state, you're then able to tune in. My body needs this. I feel this here. Or you don't have to move at all. You don't have to do, that's that stillness. Sometimes you just need to be absolutely still, and all you need is your breath, darling, okay? And maybe a bit of frequency, a bit of binaural beats on the go, okay? So yeah, breath work is probably your entry point into anything. But with the sounds, yeah, the voice, the sounds, and the breaths as well. You're like sort of tuning into what kind of breaths might help you in that moment. Really helpful. Another thing, whistling. I started to realise I was meditating in the forest, and then suddenly I'll be going. Because that helps, and do it yourself. You'll find that it's like another form of breath work in a way. Like it's another form of breath work. You can start to like have a little play around, and it's also a form of singing and humming. So whistling is like humming, is like singing. So, and there's also, everybody knows humming is really good for the body. It actually helps you at different chakras. So you can look it up, different kind of, there's I think there's more, I don't know what they are, but there's a sort of sound for each chakra. So in your chakra, your energy centers, right? And these also get blocked. They get, there's a lot chakras. I don't even know the full story. I haven't even got the knowledge myself really, but they're important. So they're things that we don't realize that are actually there, that actually have a lot of effect on our bodies, and we don't know about it. We don't know about it because we're very colonized. We don't have any ancient wisdom really. We don't know the most important things sometimes. We think we're so educated because we've got, mind-boggling scientific research, but realistically, what matters the most is the natural people that discovered the natural things that really actually naturally work and do us wonders. But the problem where we're at right now is that the unnatural world has caused so much pain to our natural bodies and our natural selves that we're now having to look back at the natural things to try and help us. And sometimes it's like, it's hard because we're using a natural thing to try and undo so much unnatural pain and issues that it's like, it's hard because it's a long process, and it's a deep process, because it's not just going to be one energy session. It's not going to be one breathwork session, one nature visit, and you're healed. It's going to probably be about a next year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, or maybe it's just ongoing for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know yet. But I know that it gets easier, and I know that it gets, the more you get clued up and the more you learn your body, the more you learn these native things and these natural ways of healing, these natural things of understanding your body and its natural processes, how we look into the nervous system and how that works, because how we actually respond to everyday life is really important for you to know. And we should have got taught about it in primary school, and I don't know how we haven't, because kids need that the most. How to emotionally regulate, how to regulate your nervous system are just emotional regulation and your nervous system, 2 really important things. Get clued up on those things. Listen to a podcast, listen to a YouTube. It's really easy just to get like basic knowledge on those things. You don't have to go and do like a PhD or whatever. Literally, I learned the most stuff from this one podcast. I'm trying to put it on, but I can't remember what it's called, on Spotify, about the nervous system. So you can find things on the nervous system and on energy healing and on emotional regulation. You can find those things everywhere. I'll give you some more tools. People do Reiki for free on YouTube. Go and do it. If you can get cacao in your life, do it. Cacao and Plenish oat milks. Plenish is milks that are good for you. Okay. So if you can get cacao, do it. I have a cacao and a Reiki every morning. It sorts me right out. But Reiki is on the internet for you to freely access everywhere. Obviously, use your discernment. Don't let any old person do it, and just make sure that person feels good and that you feel good and that you feel safe and that you feel comfortable. But Reiki is all over the internet, so you can do that. There's guided meditations, there's binaural beats, there's high frequency music. You can access all of this now on YouTube and on Spotify and stuff like that, so it's all accessible to you. There's also so many people that have done videos on breath work, so many people that would have done videos on yoga and meditation and movement and touching and EFT tapping. So there is so much out there for you. I promise you are not alone, and it's not meant to be a scary thing starting to heal and feel. It can be, but no, you're not alone. You're really not alone. There are so many people here on this journey with you, and you've got all of your little moments here that you can come back to: your stillness, your movement, your touching, your breath work, your creating, and your voice. Okay, your voice is very powerful. Singing and humming are very powerful as well. Like, just, you can feel it in your body, that the vibration when you go hum, you can feel the vibrations in your body. That's low. And like, you know what I mean? You can feel it. So Anyway, there's also so if you want to look at the Full Power Cacao is where I would recommend you to get your cacao from, because it is like raw cacao and it's just so, oh, it's so good. I think it's better than like getting like a powder from somewhere. I think you should get the raw cacao from Full Power Cacao. I think the guy is called Liam Brown or Liam Owen. I don't know. I need to look because it's actually written on my little cup that he gave to me. But I'll insert this here. His name is this, and this is his YouTube as well, right? Go check out the YouTube because he has a lot of people on his podcast where he's talking about, he's got someone who's like experts on breathwork who he spoke to the other day, some Bristolian guy. That was really interesting for me to watch, actually. It's about kind of finding the tools. I've just given you obviously a big part of the tools, but it's finding the people, finding the tools. You know, what saves me and keeps me alive is those people that are making those podcasts that I understood. I'm going to put her in here as well. I understood the Soul Saloon. She is unreal. She keeps me going. Oh my God, another girl that keeps me going. I'll have to put her here. She is brilliant. I don't know where I'd be without her. Every day she gives me a message. Every time I see a message on my YouTube from her, it's spot on, first of all. And second of all, it's like everything I need to hear, everything I need to know. She is just keeping me alive. She's keeping me alive. I love her. I think she's great. Oh, mate, she's keeping me alive. Other than that, yeah, there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of podcasts. I'll try and plug as many as I can up here. I'll just even put any more that I can find here. But go and search it, like breathwork, things like that. Go and get the tools you need. Go and find the people that you need. I am one of those people and I'm here with you and I love every minute of you. I think you're the most powerful, most beautiful, gorgeous human being in the world. I think you deserve peace. And so, yes, it may come with feeling some things and getting some things out of the way, but you deserve the peace that comes from processing, alchemizing, feeling and healing, and you're not alone. Don't let it be scary. Don't let it be scary. It's one of the most powerful and honourable things you could ever do. It is powerful and it is honourable. It's honourable. It's honourable because not a lot of people will choose to feel, because it's easier to live in ignorant bliss. But let me tell you now, if you've got a heart and you care about people and you care about this earth and you care about this planet and you care about the people on it and the people and the things and the places and the animals and everything on it, then you will start to feel, because we owe it to ourselves and each other to feel things, because it then evolves us into better people that can create a better world, you know, where there's less suffering and there's less inequality and there's less madness. And you know, we owe it to ourselves and every single thing to start to feel a little bit more. So it is honourable for you to start this journey. It is honourable for you to start this journey, and I'm really, really proud of you for how far you've already came. Okay, and if you have any, you know, inquiries, any, you know, I'm struggling this week, what would you recommend for this? Put it in the comments. I'm so happy to connect with you guys and to give you the love and the help and the support you need. I'm so happy because I know what it's like to be there. And sometimes you just need someone to say, I see you, I hear you, don't worry, try this, or actually just let yourself feel it, don't worry. Or, you know, I've been going through the same thing. Sometimes just hearing the words, I've been going through the same, is literally like, okay, it's not just me dying. It's not just me dying, yeah. Okay? I love you guys. Bit more of a serious one today, but it's because I had to feel, and then I was like, do you know what? This is some crazy stuff. I've got to give the collective this information, because actually, if everyone's going to start to feel like this and they've not gone on like a spiritual awakening yet, or they're not clued up on the tools and the things, it's going to be just so confusing. I can't even imagine it. Like when I first started feeling things, like I just kind of, luckily I feel like I just sort of was quite open and receiving to the things that were coming through, but I didn't understand any of it. I didn't understand the power of my hands, but I knew there was some sort of power going on in my hands. I started doing it. They just started, then I started speaking this language I never spoke before, and that's all apparently actually a thing. It's apparently light language, and that was all coming through, and I was just letting that happen. I didn't really know what was going on. I still don't really know what was going on. And I do all this work with my hands on people with on TikTok, and really, I'm not a Reiki master, but I know that I'm putting in. I know that my hands have power. I just know they do, you know. And so you have this same power and light within you. We all do. It's just that we're taught so much that keeps us away from it. I want to bring you back there. You know, I really want to bring you back there and ground you back there, because there's so much that teaches you away from your nature and away from what you need and away from, you know, the tools that are beneficiary to you. I feel like this needs to now be a space where we can help each other, love each other, expand each other, hold each other, because we all deserve to be held, loved and appreciated, and we all deserve to be free and living in peace, girls. So if you like that kind of thing, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah, give me a little like, give me a little comment. I absolutely love you all with all my heart, and I hope that was really helpful, okay? Mwah, 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 mwah.